Hey everybody, it's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Today is April 15th, the right smack in the middle of the month of the year 2020, and it's hump day. So hey, happy hump day to you, happy middle of the month to you. I would say happy tax day, but you know, we've got the delay now till July due to the coronavirus. I don't know what day of stay-at-home we're on. We got another month and a half to go. But that's okay. We're making lemonade out of those lemons by sewing it up. And it is beautiful. I mean, the springtime is coming, which brings me to this video. I have put together or designed. I designed and we as Halo created and published the Springtime Placemats for the beginner quilter. Now, these are beginner, plain and simple. An experienced quilter will be able to look at it and tell exactly how to make it. And that is fine. This is for you if you are a beginner. We are going to go from fabric to finish, okay? And this video is just a basic intro. I want to talk about some of those things that you will need. I want to talk about how these videos are going to run a little bit, and then we're going to get started, okay? So, what are supplies that you might need? Well, you're definitely going to need your cutting mat, your rotary blade, and a ruler, okay? Naturally. You will also need some thread. Now, I will tell you, I usually do all my piecing and quilting with Aurifil 50 weight. This time, though, I've got this really large spool of thread. I know it's 50 weight. I know it's 100% cotton. I don't know what brand it is. And I do know that it's low lint. But I don't know what brand it is, but I'm using it for piecing purposes. I'm still quilting with Aurifil thread 50 weight. I'm doing it in a light beige, and the actual number is 2310. I've actually done the quilting for both of these with that, and I did the binding, which may surprise you because I told you you want to try and match the color. There's a reason. I will explain to you when we get to that part, but quilting and binding, I'm using the Aurifil 50 weight. Bear with me, I do have notes because I got a lot of things going on in my head for this. So other things you might need, some painter's tape. I used a ton of this painter tape, a lot, and I did it for the quilting. On this one, I did a cross hatching, lots of painter's tape. On this one, I did some cross hatching and some diamonds. And I did use the painter's tape because I told you before, I'm not really good at sewing straight lines. I mean, that is, whew, it's rough for me. Now, in this one, I also used a little bit of chalk because I know the chalk comes off. A white chalk is what I ended up using. But any kind of marking tool that you may want or feel that you need, or your favorite if you have one, you know, it can be an erasable marker. Just make sure whatever you choose to use will come off, because we're going to put it on the quilt top and it's going to need to come off. So you might want to test your fabric with your marking choice to make sure that it will come off. But I would highly recommend something to mark with, okay? The other recommendation is, of course, your walking foot. We've done a lot of talks about this. I've done a few videos now about the walking foot. It's not necessary. I think you're going to be able to finish this with a general presser foot or your 1/4 inch patchwork foot. So it's just a recommendation because we're going to quilt, okay? And we're going to do binding. So the other thing you're going to need is fabric, right? Got to need the fabric. Now, I will tell you, both of these can be done very scrappy, okay? It very easily be done with whatever scraps that you have on hand. But if you choose to use certain colors, most of the fabric uses 1/8 of a yard. There's one color that uses 1/4 of a yard. And then your backing material, I suggested 1/4 of a yard because that way we don't have a seam going down the middle of the back. I wanted that full, just a full piece. So a fat 1/4 actually works well for backing in this situation also. Like I said, they both finish at 18 by 12, so a fat 1/4 will work great. And the batting will need to be the same size as your backing material, okay? But other than that, most everything is 1/8 of a yard. Now I will say on this one, I actually bought a charm pack, and it was Henry and Glass Company Inc. Manufactured it. It's all about the bees. So a charm pack, if you're not familiar, they're pre-cut. I don't typically use pre-cuts, so this was kind of a neat experiment for me. But they're 5x5 squares is what we call a charm pack. And it comes with 42 pieces. I found it on Missouri Star Quilting Company, I believe. But I'm sure anybody who sells fabric may have a copy if you wanted to get some of this fabric. It's really darling. And it actually is giving me 2 placemats with 1 charm pack of this variation, okay? I still have leftovers because the white actually wasn't part of the charm pack. I used the white I had of my own. So that's the only thing, but I will tell you, if you had a charm pack where you could mix and match and get the colors to look really good and have that enough contrast, that I have enough fabric in the charm pack to do 2 more replacing the white. That this charm pack could go the whole way, just an FYI, okay? So that also brings me to the idea that you're going to need a pattern. So I've talked about this 1/8 yard. I've talked about a 1/4 yard. I've talked about all these different measurements of fabric, but you're going to have to know what to do with it, right? The pattern you can find on our website at www.haloinspired.com/shop. It'll be underneath the digital pattern. It's the only one in there right now. We've got more coming along, so I'm getting really excited. Things are going to start moving a little bit faster here for all of that. But, and the link I'll put in the description, but I will tell you, if you are already, as of April 15th at 7 o'clock this morning, Eastern Standard Time here in the year of 2020, if you were already subscribed to our newsletter, Be Inspired, that will come out to you today for free. I'm giving all of our subscribers this pattern for free. And that's just a little heads up for those of you who aren't subscribers. Not every pattern I will give for free, but I will do others for free. Some of them, though, I may give a discount. It's kind of like my VIP kind of thing. And we at Halo love to support our supporters. So you can find tips and tricks, you can find updates, inspiration. Like I said, we do have other products down the road coming up really soon. You might get a discount code for a limited time. So it just may be a real interest to you to go ahead and join, which I'll put the link down for that so you can get started. Or if you go ahead and purchase it, you have an option to subscribe to the newsletter. So we'd love to have you along, and you won't be disappointed. So the pattern, though, I do want to tell you, like I said, the experienced quilter is going to be able to look at this and they're going to know how it's done. But it's giving you all of the material. It's done all the math for you. Inside of it, though, you're also going to get this particular one. I did a diagram with a plan. What does that mean? That means I mapped out how to stitch so that you're not going to break a lot of threads. There's actually 11 stitches in this whole thing, but there is no breaking of thread inside, and that's key. And some of it you won't even have to break thread if you're sewing outside of it, and you can dip back in, which we'll talk about when we get to that part of this process. On that week, I will go through that quilting plan with you, but it does already have it there so that you can just follow along and have minimal thread breakage and minimal, there is no bearing threads, because as much as we can eliminate all of that, perfect. This one also, I did not bury threads, but it's a basic crosshatch. Now I gave a diagram to show you how the lines went, but I didn't show you how to stitch it. Now I will do that in the video for that week. I am going to do videos on both variations, so whichever one you choose, you can follow along with this. So we'll go through both of these at the same time. Now, you don't have to buy the pattern. You can still watch the videos. You can have it running in the background. I don't know about y'all, but when I sew, I love to have somebody talking in the background. And if I think I need to see what they're saying, I turn and stop and look. But You can have me run in the background. You can learn some lessons, maybe something you haven't done before. You can check those out. All that's free. I just won't give any specifics on the pattern, like what size blocks or and how many to cut, kind of thing. But you can definitely come right along with us. One other thing. So here, how this whole thing is going to work. Today was the intro. It's April 15th, 2020, right? Next Wednesday, we're just going to talk about cutting a little bit, because we're going to mix and match some videos I've already done. So we're going to talk about the cutting. I'll probably refer most of that to that video, but then the block assembly, I'm definitely going to demonstrate and talk about and make sure to help along with that. On the 29th of April, we're going to actually put all the blocks together to make the total placemat or quilt, as you say. So that quilt assembly or placemat assembly that week. The 6th of May, we're going to actually quilt it. And like I said, I'm doing both variations. So I'm going to walk through some of that to get you started, and hopefully help you understand, especially that map that I drew out. I want to make sure that it's clear. And then on the 13th of May, we're doing machine binding. Now, I did do a video a couple weeks ago on machine binding, but that's where you take the machine binding on the front, and then you flip it over and you hand bind on the back. This is complete machine binding, 100% machine binding. And I'm going to demonstrate part of that for you so you know what to do with the mitered corners and things of that nature. And of course, then that's why during the time I'll talk about the thread and why I chose the color I did. So, and then we're going to celebrate because we're going to be done. Like I said, this is fabric to finish all the way through, and it's all being done on a domestic machine. Okay, there is no long arm needed. We're doing this together. I'm so excited about this. I just know you're going to love it. We're going to do this together and go from fabric to finish. So also, one other thing I did want to mention, inside the pattern, you're also going to get coloring sheets. Now, you might be asking what a coloring sheet is, because a lot of patterns don't offer that, okay? And you're not going to be able to see this because it's going to be whited out. So I'm going to throw a picture up here for one of the placemats. The coloring sheet is basically, it's the outline of the quilt, the placemat, whatever it is. Every design that we create, every design that I write and that we create and publish as Halo will have a coloring sheet. Now, why is that, helpful? First thing, you can sit and color the blocks to see if you like that arrangement before you actually start quilting. The other reason I love coloring sheets is because if you are contemplating on how to quilt a project, you can print one of these and either use a pencil and be able to erase, or you can print them over and over, and you can sit and play with different types of quilting designs, or as we call them, motifs. So you can sit there and figure out what kind of quilting plan you may be thinking about, okay? And then how to map it so that you're eliminating thread breakage and hiding those threads. So I love coloring sheets. They will come with every single one of our patterns. I wanted you to know that, and I wanted to explain what they are. I love them personally. I think they're amazing, especially when I'm doing the quilting motif, trying to figure out how to get it done and if I like it. But it's also fun to play with colors, because you may not want to pick the same colors that the pattern has inside. Maybe you want to play with some of that. So different colors that are in here, so you might just want to switch a color for another color and see how it looks. And this gives you the opportunity to do that. It allows you the freedom to play, okay? Which you know how I am about that. So I think that's it for today. Now, with all of these, just like every week that we've been doing, once the video releases at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that Wednesday, I will still be on Facebook Live to do Q&As for anybody that has any questions, or I will think maybe there's something I might have missed or I want to talk a little bit more about. I'll do that in those sessions. So just like every week, we just now have a little bit of a plan. We're going to execute this plan, and then I'll be there on Facebook Lives at 3 p.m. on our Facebook page, and the link's down there for you too. So that is, I'm so excited, Springtime Placemats for the beginner quilter. I hope that you'll join us and come along for the ride. Like I said, you don't even have to buy the pattern, just come on along, and if you have questions as we go, don't hesitate to drop them in any comment, any forum that you're watching us on, and we will be sure to help you out. That's this whole point, is to help build better skills, increase your confidence, increase your mastering of certain techniques within quilting. So yes, grab your pattern if you're getting it free already. If not, you can check out the website. Grab your pattern, come along, grab your fabric, and I will see you later today at 3 p.m. on Facebook. But I'll see you next week for the first session on going from fabric to finish with the Springtime Placemats. Until next time, may you continue to be inspired, productive, and joyful. Most joyful. And never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. I love y'all. See y'all soon.